Hi, my darlings. I wanted to take a quick minute to go over some of these directions with you. Some of the people who have already started it are struggling to fully understand what it is they're supposed to be doing. So I promise it'll be a short video, but I need to make sure that you are perfectly clear on what we're doing with this part. All right, so let's look at this. It says comparison chart, editorial articles. You read The Fat of the Land and Nothing But Nets. So we have been comparing those. Now you need to be able to put that basically into essay form. And this is going to end up helping you do that. Soon you're going to be asked to write an essay where you compare these two articles, as I just said. If you follow them, you'll be in good shape when I ask you to turn in the essay, which is next week. Now here is the prompt for the essay. In a multi-paragraph response, create and defend a claim, whether or not you agree with. Now hold on, let's pause there. If you're creating and defending a claim, that means that you are arguing about something. All right, so let's keep reading to see what it is we're going to be arguing. So you have to argue whether or not you agree with the author's stance in The Fat of the Land. So then you have to think about what is the author's stance, and do I agree with it or do I not agree with it? So that's the first thing you'll have to do. Then next, you'll have to look at the next part of the prompt. It says, as well as whether or not you agree with the author's stance in passage 2, Nothing But Nets. Again, you would have to say, I agree or I disagree with their stance. And then you have to tell us what their stance is. Then the third thing you have to do is, in addition, you'll have to compare how he developed his claim differently in the Nothing But Nets article compared to the Fat of the Land article, which will then help you to evaluate the effectiveness of how he developed each of those claims. Holy crazy, loaded, lots of things to do. I am hoping that after reading that prompt, then you are able to see why you need to be able to fill out this comparison chart before you actually just write the essay. If I were to give you this, my fear is that you would not be able to write it or write it well without going through the organization process first. So that's the purpose of this assignment, is let's get you organized and figure out, how do I approach answering this loaded essay question? Okay. So you've got these 3 parts. We're going to break it down into each of those parts. And I'm going to start telling you here, this is the problem that I'm starting to see. The directions for this part says, using your noticings chart and article, meaning for the Fat of the Land, write and defend a claim whether or not you agree with the author's stance in the Fat of the Land. People are writing too much and taking too much from the article and putting it into this part of their answer. Instead, you want to, we'll go through a little bit together. You want your writing to be about what you think. And the only part that really should come from the article is your evidence. That's the only part that really should come from your article. So just a quick, brief way to approach this. Let's just say, I do not agree with, and you put what you think, but this is just for our example. I do not agree with Rick Riley's stance on overweight children in America as he discusses in the article, The Fat of the Land. I'll go back and I'll fix all my typos, but The Fate of the Land. You like that? The Fat of the Land. Okay, good. So there's my claim. I do not agree with his stance. Look, I do not agree, and his stance on overweight children in America. How about this? I actually might change this. His stance that overweight children in America. How about this? That we have a huge problem with overweight children in America, as he discusses in the article, The Fat of the Land. Okay, that's my claim. So that's what the question was asking me, whether I agree with it or not. So in your claim, you've got to have like 2 parts. You've got to have, I agree with him or I do not agree with him, and what his claim is. Okay, so I agree with his claim or I don't agree with his claim. That becomes my claim now. And that's what I'm talking about in the rest of this part 1. So then I have to have a reason why I believe that his claim, I don't agree with it. Okay, I would have to give a reason in 1 sentence why I do not agree with his claim. And then I could actually go into the article and I could say, on page 2, Riley states, and then I would have to quote what he says. Come on, laggy computer. There we go. He states, and then I would quote what he says, okay? And then I would have to explain how what he says supports why I believe that I don't think that it's a good claim that he's making. So I have my overall claim here. I have a reason for having that claim. My evidence supports my reason, my explanation. Now listen how I'm saying this. My explanation, I'm explaining how the evidence supports my reason. So I'm explaining, watch my clicking, I'm explaining how the evidence supports my reason. And all 3 of these will work together to support this. So you think of the reason, the evidence, and the explanation as like a package. It is. It's like a package, and that package works together to be able to support your claim. What I'm noticing as well is some students are adding in the explanation, they're adding more and more reasons. We don't want more and more reasons. That's part of the issue that we have as teenagers with our argument skills, is we throw in all these things instead of saying, here's a reason, and let me sufficiently back up that reason and explain it in a logical way. So when you write your explanation and you're done with it and you see that it's at least 3 sentences, I would reread it and I would ask yourself, does my explanation explain how my evidence supports my one reason? Or does my explanation give lots of more reasons instead of actually backing up just this one reason? Okay? So as you do this, you are welcome to check in with me. If you finish part 1 and you want me to look at it before you move on to part 2 of this, absolutely check in with me. I'm here to help you. You know that. You can chat me on GoGuardian. I'll be watching you guys work. If there are any other issues, of course, I'll be communicating with you. But I hope that this video has helped you to kind of know how to approach the rest of this assignment. Let me know what you need, guys. I am here for you, and we will talk soon. Thanks.